Hello, welcome to Somerset News Network. Today in London, outside the Houses of Parliament, Hindus and friends are campaigning. They're campaigning against the treatment of Hindus in Bangladesh. It looks as if they're being attacked by Muslims, Islamists. I don't know the full story, but if Starmer's new blasphemy laws come through, all these Hindus could be arrested. What is my country turning into? The country's split. You've got the left campaigning for more immigrants and they're welcome, and they're calling ordinary people who've got concerns about immigration and illegal immigration far right, racist, homophobic, transphobic. What's that got to do with immigration? I don't know. But they throw everything at us. We're just ordinary people. I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I've got. I don't want to interfere with anybody doing anything legally. But I see these people are coming in illegally in the boats across the channel. And it's my taxes that are paying for them. They say, oh, we need more unskilled labour. But the problem is, if you're an illegal immigrant, it's illegal for you to work. So they're not working anyway, so we still have to pay for them. It's crazy. Channel 4 did a programme about immigration and raiding illegal workplaces. There was a farm up in Gloucester, and in the farm sheds they were sorting out spring onions for the supermarkets. In there were ladies who were illegal. They'd come from Pakistan or India or that part of the world, and they were earning £2 an hour, which isn't an agricultural wage. And they had a gangmaster. So the farmer is paying the gangmaster for doing the job, and the gangmaster then pays the workers. But it was all done illegally and they got busted. They also went to London and they found a house that was rented. It had 12 beds in it, in a 3-bedroomed house. Had 12 beds in it. Had 21 people living there. All immigrants. And they slept on shifts because they were working in London. And they were working in the restaurants, cleaning dishes and cleaning floors and working in the hotels. And once again, they were controlled by gangmasters. I think that is modern slavery. And as we know, from 1773, when a black guy called Somerset took a court case in London, he said that as he was in England, he was not a slave and could not be slaved from basically a medieval law dating back to the late 1200s, that no man can own another. But that's what we've got happening today. These immigrants are coming in. They've played the guys to come over. They reckon the rate is £5,000 to come across the channel. Now, if they've got to then pay them back and they're working in different places around the country, are they now being paid a little bit to pay the traffickers? And is this now modern slavery? Nobody seems to be trying to solve the problem. Is it because they're all making money out of it? Oh, no, they wouldn't do that, would they? You think about it. If you've got a business plan and you're managing people who are immigrants as an NGO for the government are going to pay you, and then you're going to pay the hotel. And you are siphoning your money off because you're a business and you're managing it. It's in your interest to keep the boat people coming over. So you'll be lobbying MPs not to stop the boats. Or I would think they would be lobbying MPs. You know, it's a crazy mixed up world. And it needs sorting out. As I've said, we have the right of free speech and debate, and I'm putting this forward for debate. Put it in the description below if you disagree with me. It's fair enough. No bad language. Or if you agree with me. We have to be British. We have to be for British values that we've had for thousands of years. Our rights started years ago. Alfred the Great toured the country and collected the common law. 1215 they gave us the Magna Carta. They basically forced King John to sign the Magna Carta. Now, because it was done under duress, in 1297 they reintroduced the Magna Carta. Then we had James II. He became a Catholic king. And he had the Bloody Assizes under Judge Jeffreys. The Protestants weren't allowed to hold public office, and they were also disarmed. We had the Monmouth Rebellion. I think it was 1683, or 1685, somewhere around there, where the people were defeated by the royalist troops. But we didn't like James II. We didn't like the tyranny. So we went over to Holland, and William of Orange and his wife Mary was entitled to the crown. So the Prince of Orange came over with an army, picked up people on the way. They came over to Devon, came to Exeter, and went up what is now the 303 to London. By the time they got to London, James II had disappeared. So we had a glorious revolution, no bloodshed, and that gave us the Declaration of Rights. And also the Bill of Rights, which was an Act of Parliament. Bill of Rights 1689. I will keep on about this because we have to talk. We can't be suppressed. Starmer wants to control social media. But if you're telling the truth and you're being honest and you've got an opinion, you've got the right of free speech. And social media is allowing us to be able to talk to each other. people in the press say, oh, you've got the right of expression. I don't like the word expression. That's European. That's in the European Court of Human Rights, which they're trying to get rid of. We have the right of free speech under the Bill of Rights. It's Article 9, if you want to look it up. And the press have got the right of free speech. And if anybody complains about the press, it goes straight to the High Court, which is the law lords. That means we've got that right too. You just can't have a right for MPs to have free speech and for the press to have speech, but not us. It must include everybody. That's what happened with the Magna Carta. It was the barons that made or wrote the Magna Carta, made King John sign it, but it became the basics of all our rights. There are 2 Liberty of the Subject Acts, which nobody ever talks about and which are worth looking up. They're from 1345 or something. You know, we have a constitution. All these people say, oh, we haven't got a constitution. When I worked for the civil service, we had a Lord Library. And it was headed Constitutional Law. And in there was the Blackstone's books. Modern Blackstones, not the old ones. And there was also a book with all the Acts of Parliament in it. And I went through it and I was looking at old Acts of Parliament. Magna Carta, like I said. Liberties of the Subject, Bill of Rights, Act of Settlement. I wrote to the Speaker and asked her if the Acts were still current and in force. She wrote back to me and said yes. And I had a few correspondence with Betty Boothroyd after that. And she basically agreed with me. She gave me a few tips and hints on the way. But magnificent lady. But who's standing up for our rights now? If you start standing up and talk it, you're either racist, homophobic, transphobic. You know, people are scared to talk. I don't hate anybody, but I do want the right to debate, which I've got under the Bill of Rights. And the more we keep talking about the Bill of Rights, the more the government's going to have to listen. Now they're talking about stamping down on social media. That's restricting rights again. I think Mr. Starmer needs to be reminded that he is a lawyer and he's taken the oath to uphold the laws of the country. And the laws of the country are the Bill of Rights, freedom of speech and debate. So he's taken the oath to uphold those rights and liberties.